Here's my pen. Okay. We're just waiting on Elisa to pop on, and then we will be ready. Oh, there we go. We all signed on at the same time.
Hello.
Hey, let me turn you up, and let me give you hosting privileges.
Do I need it? I don't know. We're.
Do you want me to do it
wait a minute.
this week?
Yeah, I just got to seeing your thing about it doing the old way this time. I just now saw it, but I've been posting that it's only on.
Yeah, I didn't contact my team in enough time to tell them not to post it, and then it got cut. We'll start.
So, yeah, that's fine. All right. Well, but anyway, they will be on your YouTube, so you don't have to make me anything, right?
That's right. That's this time.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay,
it's all you, girl.
Doing that right now. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, and I'm going to open up the key, and I'll let you handle your YouTube live, I guess.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good to me.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Oh, it was so beautiful yesterday. It looks like it's so beautiful today. The documentary lady, she's in Montreal. I had to send her a snapshot of our sunny 69, and she's like, oh God, she hates the cold.
All right.
Tell me when you want to start.
I'm just closing out my other tab so it doesn't distract me, and we're just opening up chat on YouTube.
Hi, people on Zoom.
Okay.
What's going on with the hair, Lisa? What is it?
Your hair looks great.
I don't care.
I'm ready to go when you are. Grab my
okay. All right. I guess, can I start on Zoom right now?
You're welcome to.
Me first.
Go right ahead.
All right, people. Julie Davis. Oh, hi, everybody. And hello, my love, Erik. And hello, Pamela Erin, who I also love and admire.
I love you. And he said, I love you. He kind of yelled it and went like this.
Oh, you're so sweet. All right, let's see. I think you messed around with a lot of electronics of Papa's yesterday, but
huh?
Yeah, I think you probably did. Anyway, Julie Davis. I think my grandma Celia M visited me the other night. Does she have a message for me? That's so cool. Thank you, Erik, Pamela, and Elisa. Much love. Much love back.
So she's showing me a chair, green or something. Yep, green. And she moves it or sits in it, or there's something with this. So it's confirmation. And then, all right. She went like this, and she pointed to the right side of her chest, and she said, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Oh.
And the message about that is not just a physical, like, even though there was something physical at that time, this was, she had something going on, and I don't think that's a metaphor. The message right now is about how when you drop the body, that a lot doesn't hurt anymore. So her message was for you about that death doesn't have to be something that the pain of losing someone doesn't hurt forever. The grief doesn't hurt forever. And also they don't hurt. Once that body, that shell is gone, they don't hurt. Like all the emotional and physical pain is lifted. And there's this, she sighed, kind of like this, a sigh of relief. She said it's like dropping an anchor. That's what it was like for her.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Elmer, hi, Erik. Can I ask you what kind of crystals and essential oils can be used for meditation and for caring for me as of now? Thank you again and again.
He says for you specifically, don't use olive oil as a carrier. Like your body doesn't like olives. So sometimes everyone has like unique tendencies with their carrier oils. So he said, if you notice something and you break out, or you notice something, don't use that. And he said, for you, carrier oil could be coconut, but it has to be like cold pressed. He's showing me ice cold pressed.
Oh.
Lavender doesn't do for you what it does for other people, but you do need to try something for the immune system, like with boswellia, that's frankincense, and other things for the immune system like cinnamon bark.
Are you talking about smelling or eating? Edible or?
No, not edible. He wants you to put it in a diffuser in the room.
Oh, okay. What about the coconut oil? Also the diffuser?
Yeah. So basically he's going to make an oil, and he's going to put a few drops of each with a little bit of coconut oil and make it himself. And then he can put it into the diffuser or rub it on his body. Don't eat it.
Okay. What about the crystal? What crystal is the best for him to carry around in his pocket?
At this point, Erik is saying labradorite and smoky quartz. Labradorite because you're working on throat and speaking issues. And smoky quartz because you're working on identifying what your strengths are within yourself and being confident about it.
Good. All right. One more, and then I'll let you pick a few of your YouTube Live people. Alexandra K. My father, Elias K., passed away in 1986. Does he have a message for me about how my life turned out?
Mm-hmm. He said that the dad, Elias said, it's turning out great, and it's turning out more, and it's turning out more. He said, so I was strict when I was alive in form. I was strict. Yeah. And I would have said, you need to do this better. And I would have given you a list of things. And I'm not going to do that anymore. I need you to understand. And he pat you on the back. He said, I've done this to you before. I've given you this message before, and I'm going to give you a pat on the back and a handshake as a man, and I'm proud of you, and it's going to keep getting better. But I really do need you to understand this and accept that I'm proud of you, because you wouldn't have accepted that as well when I was in form. I need you to do this now for yourself, not for me, for yourself.
How nice. What a sweet message. All right. You can go to the YouTube Live side if you want, Pamela.
Yes, James S. wants a message. So it's about communication. He said, you are often striving to think about your words before you come out of your mouth. And while I like that, I mean, I commend you on it, man. It's really ethical that you think before you speak. But what if you're picking yourself apart when you do that too? Like, what if it's just a bit much? Like, what if what you want to say will be said exactly in the way that it's supposed to be said when you trust yourself more? So I understand that you're seeking a balance in this, but humans, you all are a big field of energy in communication, in what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're saying, and how that turns into action. That's a big field of energy where all those dots connect. And you're thinking about all the webs of interconnection, all the ways that you connect with so many people. And you're thinking about relationships because that's the way that all of you evolve. So I can see that you're thinking about this, James. You have access to this. You don't need anything outside of yourself or bigger or better than you to access this. There's nothing wrong with your meditation. There's nothing wrong with the way that you meditate and the way that you access this. You just need a completely more like a natural version of your brain, because you've been taught that connection is seeing, hearing, bowing to something outside of you and thinking that your own messages are not any good. You don't even know how they come anymore. So this is a problem, not just with you, but with many people in the world. I need you to understand, all of you, not just James, all of you, messages come really naturally. And they come in downloads of information that look like thoughts. And of course the brain goes, oh, that's just you making it up. Of course the brain does that. So what's wrong with it? Even that concept of, so what if you are making it up? Are you at least going to listen? Because there's something in there that's important. I need the world to trust themselves more right now. This is really important.
It's good.
I'm just going in order of how I see them, guys. So next is Sunshine Bear. Hi, Elisa, Erik, and Pamela. My name is Cummins. Will you please bring forth any messages you have for me? Perhaps from Meemaw, Patsy, or my dad, Dickie. Incredible gift. Grateful. We are grateful for you too. Well, I guess we have Patsy because I started hearing the song Crazy in the background by Patsy Cline. So that's definitely, I was waiting to see her, but I got the song first. I don't see her yet. She said, so there are 3 different families now, huh? 3 different get-togethers, 3 different ways that all of you kind of connect and communicate. And you know what? It's better than nothing. I know that you want it the way that it used to be. Sometimes families evolve and shift and change. And I know that maybe many people think that I would have wanted it a certain way. I'm just happy that some of you talk it all. So can we be happy with the way that the family has evolved? It's a question that she has for you. I'm happy that you still talk to each other. Doesn't matter if it's changed, you still talk.
That's nice.
They used to have some interesting get-togethers in a certain way with her and with particularly like all these people that she lists, the Meemaw person, her dad, like they used to all have interesting get-togethers. She's just saying it's okay that it has shifted. Okay. From Sarah, February, that's her YouTube name. So I'm assuming the first name is Sarah. She wants to know how to heal nerve damage lingering in the left shoulder after surgery, ACDF surgery, she'll list, which is anterior cervical discectomy and infusion. Is this an energy and not physical issue now? Erik says, but it's always both.
Yeah.
The issue with physicality is that it is emotional first. So the shoulder, you think about the body, you guys segregate everything into left and the right. So we're looking at, you know, the male and female side of things. So the left side, that's the female. What in you is shouldering too much? What part of your softness and vulnerability just says, you know what, I'm going to take upon everything because I should, because I'm the person that knows how to do it. Therefore, I should, because I'm this. And you make an excuse and you say, that's the reason why I should. So in her situation, it's both, and it will linger. The shoulder, that surgery is hard to heal from. And your brain will say, well, it's going to take a long time. But in this particular thing, it's a ligament issue. It's not a bone issue. It is a ligament issue that's taking a while. So when you nick into ligaments, you cut the ligaments, it takes longer. So it's not just about the bones. It's all those soft tissues around them take some time. This is a bit longer of a time, he says, for Sarah that it normally would be, but it's a ligament issue now. So those take longer to heal from. So it's physical and energetic. So what are you shouldering when you are in your vulnerabilities and you are afraid to say, you know what, someone else should do this? It's something in the family, by the way. You guys have to team up together, he says. Oh, we are, uh-oh. You're frozen. I wonder if my internet went weird or yours went weird. Uh-oh. Can people still hear me? Zoom, can you guys still hear me? It says that I still have internet. Okay, then it's on Elisa's side. She's gone. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and take Zoom questions. Well, hey, Mary Ellen. From Pearl, can Erik tell me what gift I have to offer others? He says, it's the gift of discernment. See, gifts are not always they are connected to your abilities, but don't mistake gifts with abilities. Gifts are always something that comes through that are more your emotional offering to yourself and to the world. And yours is offering of divine wisdom and discernment. You don't speak a lot, he says, but when you do, it's incredible. You know, it's incredible. So you have something very wise to say, but you don't often do it anymore. I think that you're afraid that you're going to, catalyze people. So what if you do? So that is your gift. The abilities are different than gifts. So what you're actually probably looking to know is like what ability you have. And he said, in that case, you have a lot of energy transference. That's what people call healing. He just calls it energy exchange. I'm gonna check my text. I don't know what's going on. Okay. She's gonna restart the computer and she wants us to continue until then. Next question. Can you tell me if there are any messages from Father?
I don't know what happened.
Bob Way. Hey, for
Hello
my
again.
ailing mother, Ernie. Yeah, my father. Okay.
Oops.
She says she is really wanting, and not she consciously, she's actually a little bit terrified of death. So be there, be compassionate for her. She's actually afraid of what it's going to be like. Not necessarily that she's dying. She knows she's dying, he says. So she is on her way out. And this is one of these messages that we have to be very compassionate and discerning about sharing with you. But he's telling you he wants that they want to be together. They want to join with each other. And she's on her way, but she's afraid of pain and suffering because her ailment is very painful. So you guys need to manage your pain and just be there for her and let her know that you're going to make sure that it doesn't get more painful than what's already happening. And then and what I'm telling you, you already know. Like, this is not a shock to you. You're not going to jump back on Zoom and be like, oh my God, you guys know this. So be there for her and let her know that you're going to help her manage her pain and that it's not going to get worse. She's terrified that it's going to get worse, is what Bob is saying. Okay, we've answered all the Zoom questions now.
Wow.
Yeah, while you were gone, we did 2. So I guess you can do one more if you want.
Oh, well, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
That's for myself. It's all about me. I'm kidding. Anyway, so one night I had this idea for a novel, just downloaded, I don't know, or even the title, The Boy Who Would Not See. And I've been writing it, and I feel like somebody else is channeling it to me because I would never be good at writing fiction. So who should I call upon to help me keep going in the right direction? I got a Metatron something or other. Said, Metatron, will you help me? I don't know, maybe he can. But who should I really lean on?
Erik says actually Saint Germain is your big guide on this.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, so you can call upon him, and he does work with Metatron. They work together. So, but so normally Metatron's a little difficult sometimes to understand for everybody. Okay. So it's like when you call upon like Saint Germain first, then Metatron will naturally come for you.
Oh, well, is there a lot of anything else?
Yeah, there's something else he's saying about this. He said this actually, your connection with Lucas will help you in this.
Oh, wow.
There's something about your connection with your other child that's really going to help you write this.
How is that? I mean, like going on his experiences or asking him for advice or what?
Recently that he will say again that when he said it, you guys were all like shocked, and he's going to he's going to say it again, and it's going to be your connection with him. It's growing in this unique way that it never has before. Not that it wasn't there, but it's just this unique way now.
I love my little Lucas boy.
Yeah, and there's something that he starts to share with you about like he helps with this.
Okay, good. All right. So that's all you're going to give me, eh?
He said, fine. You'll see. He said, oh, he is shifting.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's doing so well. And thanks to your help, Erik, because I know you're working with him energetically.
He is.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean next week, Mom. You'll see what I mean.
Oh, thank you. All right, go for it.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to do this one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we need to do more on Zoom.
Okay, we got Stacy Garcia. Does Erik have any advice on my healing ability for others? What a loving question.
Mm-hmm. He said, the advice I give you is actually to help you and your abilities, because you do great with others, but I need you to do a little bit more shielding or energy work, or what, Pamela calls this fancy thing she calls pratyahara. He's laughing at my yoga words.
Well, you're doing better than I would do. I would blah, 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 blah.
So he said, I can't say that yoga word. So I need you to do more of that before and after when you work with people. And I need you to understand that they don't need to know. Guys, this is for Stacy and everyone. So many healers go in and people, you're working with people's heads, you're working with their ego, and they're like, what are you doing now? What will you do? How will this help me?
Oh, God.
They do this thing, because
Yeah.
everyone wants to put meaning to something, but Stacy is what he calls a natural healer. So with natural channels and natural healers, you never know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to come through channels. You don't know what specifically is going to happen, except that you do stuff and they feel better, and what is meant to happen will happen. And then they can tell you how they feel afterwards. So when you keep track of them afterwards and get the feedback, you will know, but you won't know until then, or until they tell you. So sometimes it's just, you need to understand that you are natural, which means they're not going to know and you're not going to know. And you guys don't need to like go explain or elaborate or give them tons of information. You're natural. Just let it happen.
So what do healers do, like Stacy and this one,
She
and others? If they do say, well, what are you doing, and what does that mean, and what word are you saying, and if they say that, because you know,
tell them that that she's to tell them that he says that she's to tell them that she is a natural healer, and what that means is she's holding a space for their higher self to tell their body and to tell their mind what to do and how to heal. And that sometimes she's going to get that information about what was healed, and sometimes she will not. Sometimes she's like a pipe in your house. So basically she uses herself, to be this pipe, and then water flows through, but she doesn't know much about the water flowing through. She's just being the pipe. So this is one way to explain it. Natural healers and channels, you're the pipe. You're not meant to know. Yeah. Like the pipe doesn't walk around going, so I'm the pipe, and now this type of water is going to come through. Pipe is just the pipe.
Yeah.
He said this could work for all healers. Like people's minds and egos don't need to know what's happening. It's okay to not know in advance.
Yeah, because maybe that would just create expectations, and expectations are just, that's such a dense energy. But what do I know?
He said it's a bias. It creates a bias.
Yeah, it does.
And then you just like get focused only on that. It's like, he said, then just like you're minimizing God. You're like saying, God, you know what? You need to do this for me. Well, what if God like wants to do this and 1,000 things more, but you only minimize this, and you're so powerful that your words tell spirit what to do.
Ooh, yeah.
And if you hone in on one thing, it's like limiting God. We're like putting God inside of a container and saying, put a cap on it. Just do this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now the YouTube side, maybe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning. They're all saying, well, good morning, guys.
Good morning, everybody.
Does Kurt have a message for Cameo or for any of the family members? He's showing me this big truck. Does he have a truck, or someone have a red truck? There's something about this. And he kind of got in it and joked around, and he said, and he pointed to the left side of him and went like this. When they do like this, that means somebody got something or needs to get something that belonged to them. And left side is always like son or dad, or something to do with the masculine, that side of your father's side family. So that's what's going on there. Something about this, that he's proud of it, that it happened, that somebody got a truck, or that somebody needs to get a truck that's his, or something like he's proud of. And when you go like this, that means younger than him, and probably his son or grandson or somebody on his side of the family. So that's normally what that means. So just a message of yay.
Mm.
Yay about that truck. Erik, this is for Lala. Tell me if there is any more I need to do for my sister Carlotta. Mm-mm. He said, I know that's hard. I'm really sorry, man. I'm sorry when it comes to the point where there's nothing more to be done except being there. And then even in your case, giving yourself permission to not be mean to yourself when you can't. There's times when you can't, he says. And when you guys can't be there for your family members, it's okay. Like sometimes we need to give ourselves permission, like say we're clear across the world and we just can't do it, you know, like don't hold that against yourself. There's a way specifically that you can't be there and there's a way that you can. So be just loving for yourself. There's nothing more you can do for her at this time. She's going through something that is like a strict amount of stubbornness and a strict amount of resistance towards life. And sometimes when people do that, they just get addicted to their way. Quite literally, he said in her case, she's addicted to her way.
Well, also sometimes if you do too much for people, it robs them of whatever spiritual lessons they created for themselves prior to incarnation, right? I mean,
yeah, that he says that, and sometimes people just you can't, like there's something mental and physical blocking the way, and they have to cut loose from whatever that mental or physical thing is, that they're kind of sticking their feet in the ground and being like, no, this is my way, you know. And
yeah.
what can you do? There's no, what can you do? They're stuck in a way that's very destructive.
You have the most beautiful eyebrows, by the way.
Oh,
look at Pamela's eyebrows, people. They are gorgeous.
Thank
Thumbs
you.
up for her eyebrows, everybody.
I'm always plucking and doing stuff to them.
That's awesome. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm done on my side.
Chicken. Oh, okay. Anonymous. That's a very common name on Zoom. How did George, wait, hang on. George Blanton manifest his Lou Gehrig's disease, and what can he do to help his condition? Thanks, Pamela. I would love to help him. Fondly, Marianne. Big hugs.
He said he manifested that for the long haul, to not to be something that he heals from, but something that he teaches all of you to grow through. There's something that the medical community is going through with Lou Gehrig's as a whole, Erik is saying. So they're shifting into some new research that's going to be really, really helpful for his functionality in movement in his muscles. So that's going to be really helpful to have more control over his muscles. Like this is new research that comes about in late 20 and all the way through 2021 is when this research is discovered about more mobility for people specifically struggling in the way that he recently has been. His isn't quite as bad as it's going along. Like Lou Gehrig's is something that kind of gets you over time for some people.
Yeah.
So this is like lack of mobility that he's experiencing, and it may get worse, but this research is coming along. It's what Erik wants you to know. This research is right here, like 2021 at the worst case scenario for that new research for Lou Gehrig's disease. So he wants you to know about that, and he wants you to be combing the clinical trials. So that's something that you all can do with that.
To do what?
Combing the clinical trials. Like
you can actually sign up. I think it's clinicaltrials.gov or something. Sign up to be on the list for notifications.
And for them to put him, if you can put in his condition and you can put in like what stage it's in and all of his information, and they come to him and say you're a candidate. They will seek him out.
All right, so this thing that's going to be helpful. Is it gene editing? Is it some sort of monoclonal antibodies? Is it a drug? I mean, what?
It is related to antibodies. So that's a thumbs up on that when you said that, Erik.
Okay.
It is related to that. And it does cause something that kind of halts its progress. It's not a cure, but it halts the progression. And it also helps with mobility. So there's two different things it does. So it's like amazing. And insofar as how he got it, it's contracted, it's contract. Sometimes people just have contracts for unique diseases that come through and they stay there. They're meant to stay there. This is one of those things.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an immunosuppressant or?
Um, no.
Okay. Does LDN work? Let us know. Trexone work for or help? I
It
hadn't read it. I was about to look, but
it definitely helps with some specific things in the brain.
okay. Well, you just research low dose naltrexone against Lou Gehrig's if you want, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. I say that many times. It makes me sound much smarter than I am. Just like Campylobacter jejuni. I love that. It's a musical word, and it causes bloody diarrhea. But anyway, uh, now Christina Anubis told me that I was already channeling him, but I
Anubis.
think it is. All right. Told me that, see, I already showed you how unsmart I am. That I was already channeling him, but calling him something else. My initial thought was Ra, but then I thought Horus. Any clarity on this is helpful. Thanks. And this is from Christina.
So he's okay. He's going to allow me to draw for a minute to show you something. He's been like wiping clean my board these days. He's like, don't use your cord. You don't need that. So this is God or source. Can you guys see that? Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. So basically, if this is an ocean, you can imagine this is big stuff. So God comes down and says, I want to be a really big deity, and I'm going to call it Ra. And this becomes like a little smaller lake, right? And then God kind of goes, oh, like that. And then maybe I want to be two beings at once this time. Maybe I want to be like Anubis, you know? And maybe I also want to be Horus, which are kind of deities in Egyptian culture, you know? And then maybe I want to split from Anubis and kind of go, So you see what I mean? We're going ocean, lake, you know, tributary reservoir, you know, rivers. These are what Erik calls streams of consciousness. So a lot of times we go, no, it has to be God. We go straight to Father God, Mother God, Source, you know, whatever. Well, it has to be Jesus or Ra. It has to be Horus. It has to be this. It has to be that. But what if you see these two are parts of each other? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it doesn't matter. Like this just relates to our unique soul contracts. This little stream of consciousness here relates to our unique streams based upon our contracts and our time frames. So it doesn't matter that we've been calling him Ra. It doesn't matter if we call it Horus. It doesn't matter if we call it God. Like it's all streams of consciousness that relate to our specific mastery and experiencing. So it's just know that it's okay.
Well, should she? What name should she use just to help her focus and
Anubis.
communicate on?
Okay. Yeah, Anubis. Yeah.
All right.
You know that now, so it doesn't matter that you were calling it something else because it's all one and the same from that same line, that lineage for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so when will Kobe Bryant be ready to channel? A lot of people want me to interview him. Now? Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Maybe you want to do it with me. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Let me know. Let me know if you do that or if you recommend somebody else.
Yeah. He's happy to come through. It's been funny because I heard basketball sounds in my backyard and he and Erik were shooting hoops. I think I told you.
I remember that. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Ready. Awesome. I'll call out for questions. All right. Here's another one on Zoom. Is my transdermal hormone cream helping me or is it a waste of time and money? Thanks.
Who said that?
Marianne Howard.
Okay. He goes, so you got this thing about everything being a waste of time or a waste of your money, and it's understandable, but it is lack mentality. So I want you to give it some time. You haven't given this particular cream enough time to do its job, but I don't want you to overdo it either. Just do it like once a day. I don't want you to do this a lot because progesterone can be interesting in how it affects people. And then you don't want to overdo it because you're going to have a different problem. So it ingests at a different way for different people, like faster or slower, particularly when it comes to the skin. You may not be getting but a little bit, and you may be getting too much. In your case, you are getting it. You're probably getting actually too much of it. It just hasn't had enough time to do its job. Hormones take a while to adjust. So a lot of people, he said, a lot of people do this, like they kind of go through things and they're like, well, why don't I feel any different? you know,
It
but
does. It truly
yeah,
does. It's
it
very complicated.
like months. He's like, sometimes with progesterone, like 6 months
Wow.
minimum.
Is she putting it on the right part of her body? Because there's some parts of the body that absorb um, hormones better than other parts.
He thinks she needs to put it behind her ears or the back of her neck for her.
Oh, okay.
But that's unique for people as well. Like that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Next.
Okay, we're going over to YouTube.
Yep. I
Okay.
don't got anything on Zoom.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Erik from Funny Smiles 777. Any messages for my 20-year-old son, Leo? He's just starting his life. He would like advice and guidance. Okay, so he's kind of these kids, he kind of got a late start to things, not just because he's 20, but like there's certain things that by the time you're 20, you would expect most kids to do, like driving and, having their own bank account and things like that. So he has a little bit of anxiety, but also like a lot of passion and a lot of excitement about starting his life. And he can't decide if he's super excited or too nervous.
Mm.
So he's excited, and what I can say for him is just pick one thing. He's kind of all over the place. And we do this when we're 20, but this kid in particular is like, I want to do this. I want to do like 1,000 things at once so that I make sure I cover all my bases. And then at least one of those things will make me successful. So he said, but that's just like, you can't be like, Kobe Bryant and then be like Patrick Mahone. Like you can't be all these things at the same time, you know? And he was like, I can't believe that, by the way, about the Chiefs. I can't believe that. It shocked him.
My 5 minutes, man. This bam. They're the
Just
comeback
help him
kids.
rein it in. Help him rein it in.
God. Okay.
Yeah, got to rein it in. Everybody's excited about us channeling Kobe. I'm down. I like Kobe. Um, oh yeah, depression. To Joanne, she wants to know how to help her 14-year-old daughter Michelle with anxiety and depression. He says, so what she wants to do, he said, and this is kind of a teenager thing. They're at that precarious stage between 14 and 19 where everything is hard and they're really hormonal about everything and they don't want to do what they need to do. So this is for everybody, but particularly with this one, she needs to be directed into music. She needs a focus. I don't care if she likes it or not. Give her a focus. This is one of those things where some kids, if they don't have at least one focus that's good for them, then they just kind of don't have any flow in their life. They're just, you just kind of let her go and do her thing. And I understand you want to promote independence, but it's sort of like having a teenager is having like an untrained big old Labrador, maybe like somewhere between adulthood, but not quite there yet, but all this energy, and you try to take it out for a walk, but it has no behavioral training. You have to have a leash. They like it. They actually like having that leash.
Oh yeah.
Where's your leash on your teenager? He's like,
Teenager leash.
teenager
That's
leash.
funny.
He means it metaphorical, but
Yeah, I hope
they
so.
like that guidance. They like you to rein them in a little bit. So that you can't just be like, let them run, run into the road like like crazy dogs do when they're untrained.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's probably in the library now too. But y'all, if you want to try something for 2 weeks and see a transformed kid, then there are super practical points in the book I wrote a long time ago called Hearing is Believing: How Words Can Make or Break Our Kids. It's so easy, and it helps you keep it together emotionally too, so you don't so anyway, so yeah, check it out. It's probably, like I said, it's probably in the library by now, so you can check it out for free.
I love that. Okay, one more from YouTube. Lillian asked about a message from her father, Alex. It's about your car. So your car has a problem specifically with its wheels, specifically on the right side. Don't ignore this. This is like when they come through and they're that specific, you need to look at that. Like this is something's happening with one of your cars. It's dangerous. So
Is
he
it the
said, I
tire?
want to control that, get that underway.
Is it tire or balancing? The
Um,
tire's
it's
worn?
definitely with tire, but you know with tires, and you have like things like brakes and shocks and all sorts of things.
Oh
It's
gosh. Well,
not the
which one is it?
yeah, it has to do with something that like he's showing me like I'm not a mechanic, so I get all weird when they do this. He's showing me the nuts and bolts and things that hold the tire on. It's not the tire itself, but it's something to do with, what is that called? The axle.
Oh, axle, okay.
Okay. And then you need to check the something with that and the
Maybe it's
axle.
alignment.
And it's something's not right to the point where there's so much he's moving the axle like this, like it's
Oh,
moving
it's out of alignment then, which
so
could affect the wear of the tire also.
yeah. And then he's showing me like he's like, check, it's not even on there right with the
Oh
nuts.
gosh.
Hold it on there because there's been so much vibration.
Oh no. Maybe the U joint is about to come apart. You better
Something is
take that
wrong.
in, girl.
So what he's showing me is interesting because I don't understand names, but he's showing me in images in this way. So just show that to a mechanic and have them fix it. It's dangerous.
Yeah. Okay, I could take some from Zoom. Are we ready for Zoom? I can't.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
ready.
it didn't keep count. Okay, Sean Humphreys. Oh, aloha. I would like to ask if either June, Irene, or Hope, or Rhonda have anything to share with me. I love and miss them and thank them for sharing their human journeys with me, though it's way too short for my liking. I love you. Thanks, Erik, Pamela, Elisa. Many blessings. Love you all, Sean.
Mm-hmm. Um, June says Keakoa. That's Hawaiian. I don't know what it means.
Oh, cool.
And there is some sort of new medicine that you're on, and she's showing me like this big leaf, and it's a big one. It might be homeopathic, and it is, she says. So it's not mixing well with another medication that you're on that isn't homeopathic. Just so you know, it's just awareness, because over time, this could raise your blood pressure. Because sometimes we do a lot as well that if you're on any allopathic med, even if it's something like Motrin that you think is not going to have any, like, I don't know if you're sensitive like me, even Motrin screws up my whole day, and I need it right now because I have plantar fasciitis. So, and I mix this other like medicine with it, plant medicine, and then everything goes haywire. So I understand what he's saying, but for you, it's really about like this new plant-based medicine that you're on is not mixing with something, and it causes actual like headaches and sleep disturbances. So if you really want to be on that medicine, you're going to need to balance that out, you know, for the type of mental restlessness. He says you don't sleep as well as you used to. There's like a restlessness, like you sleep and you wake up too much and then you can't get back to bed as easily. So he says it's not actual physiological problem, and the physical is more of a mental restlessness. So in this case, you can take coffee cruda. He got me onto this. It's a homeopathic one. He was the one that got me onto this. And then my mom came through and he was like, look, even your mom knows about it. And it was blue capsules. So coffee cruda is spelled like coffee, except coffee like COFFEA, cruda, CRUDA. So you can take that along with some melatonin, you know, and those two work together to kind of alleviate the restlessness if you want.
Cool. Now how do you spell the Hawaiian word that June said?
Keakua, he says it's Keikua. It's some kind of a loving.
Yakua. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, just look it up.
Yeah.
All right, let's take Wendy's. Two more, and then you go to your YouTube side. My name is Wendy S. I do not want to be in the belief system that my skin condition is due to a past life. However, I'm confused as there are two channelers that are saying that it is due to Atlantean karmic energy. Does Erik have any advice on this? Wow, interesting.
He said this message is coming up for you in many ways in your life, not just in your skin condition, like with your friends, your family, all over the board. This message of something holding you back or holding people back from their power. You don't want to believe in it, so why are you? So let's just start there. Why are you believing in it? It doesn't matter if two other channelers are saying it. What if you're all right? What if there is something you're carrying over, but you're just kind of misunderstanding the energy and the natural consequence of karma is not a punishment. Karma is simply energy in action based upon something that you chose. Just like when we were talking about the guy with the Lou Gehrig's, he chose something. So what if we just choose to obviously treat our conditions, but be loving about it and stop trying to make something go away all the time, but just be loving and accept? It doesn't mean we're accepting our condition as being good or bad, but we're just saying this is here, so we're going to be loving about it and we're going to treat it, and we're just going to not have our full focus on making something that already is go away. And we also are just loving about it. That's it. So, but these messages that we kind of go where it's either this or it's that, humans are always looking for one way to something.
Yeah.
And everything, spirits in all ways. So what if it's both for you? And simultaneously, we can just stop trying to make it go away and stop. Like, we don't have to be like trying so desperately to get rid of something that's a part and nature of how we are.
Or to figure out its roots.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any difference, I guess, really, does it? Unless past life regression would help.
Well, you can, but you're going to know it. But what if you chose to carry it over and it's being carried over for a specific reason that's actually helping you in something?
Oh, is there in her case?
Yes, it is. And it's helping her get into her mastery of empowerment. Is that something about power and something about being fully accepting of herself? And yes, it's carried over. Those channels are right, but it doesn't have to make you feel disempowered.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's see. We have one from Alex. My 17-year-old Madeline also suffers from depression, although she puts on a happy face. She talks about suicide in her journal and with her therapist. How can we help her to hang in there and awaken to move toward her higher purpose?
How about we all stop talking about higher purpose? What if our purpose is just opening the door for someone that day? What if her purpose is how joyful she feels when she listens to her music? You know, what if her purpose is something so incredibly there that, like, the ego likes to attach achievement to purpose?
Yeah.
And then the world backs that up. And then of course teenagers feel crappy. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing there, mom and dad. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. Especially mom, you're really, really on it. You're getting her therapy. You're doing what you're supposed to do from you being there for her. You're listening. So, but I could tell you sometimes we don't need to make depression go away. We can just say, okay, what about if we just hold a space for that depression and we just say it's okay to be sad? You know, just holding space for her is the biggest thing I can tell you for her. And it kind of, the world misunderstands purpose. They're going to put actions and achievement on it.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So we need to just kind of look at that differently. That'll help. She needs to lighten her load. Like, we don't need to be thinking about purpose right now. We just use 14, let her play.
Well, okay. So as a mother, you know, one thing I would ask is how can we prevent her from taking her life? I mean, that would be very important.
You already are. He said you are,
Okay.
you're being there, you're being present, you're keeping her focused, you're giving her a focus, and you're being there and holding space for her. So just, you're keeping an eye on her. That's everything that you can do.
Okay. Anything else that needs to be done? Maybe not from them, but from the parents, but in any other way? Or the child needs to do?
Direct her to learn how to play and just be a kid again. She's forgotten how to just be a kid.
Oh, that's good.
they're still kids. Let them be kids.
Yeah.
We're pushing kids to grow up so fast. No wonder they're scared and sad and like, but by the time they're in 6th grade, teachers are like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Get on it, man. Pass
Oh,
these
I
tests.
know.
Do this, do that. What if we do less of that and kids can play?
Maybe she can actually really do something like play, like go with her friends to one of those places with all the trampolines, or
Yeah.
go
Parks, music parks,
laser tag,
laser
paintball.
tag, paintball, bowling,
Yeah,
whatever they want to do, but they need to,
yeah.
the kids need to play. They're just too conditioned, and the educational systems are getting harder
Oh God, no,
and harder.
I know exactly. Okay, you want to go to the YouTube side,
Mhm.
Pamelita?
I like that. Okay, Tim Cox. His father, James Cox, recently passed and, okay, left the family. Does he have messages? Okay. Oh boy. So Erik said he left owing money, he left owing
Oh,
taxes, he left his stuff in like 5 different places. He said the
no.
family, there's stuff there. So it's not just like we're sad and we're in turmoil because we're sad. There's stuff to do, and the family's going, oh my God, this.
Oh,
So that's kind of hard. The family needs to forgive the conditions in which he left with that physical stuff to do.
yeah.
That's what he wants you to do. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So what he's saying is, I just had a hard time with being human. Like, I just had a hard time with stuff like accounting and taxes and money and accounts and my stuff. Um, so can you just understand that that's where I was coming from? I was tired of that, and I'm sorry about that. So if anything, just know that I'm sorry for the undone state in which I
Mm,
left the family to have to clean up after me.
yeah.
And I'm just sorry about it.
Okay.
That's a hard one.
Oh gosh. I mean,
Yeah.
are people financially responsible for
Yeah.
the, really? Why? If they weren't the ones that accrued the debt? I mean, maybe his estate would be responsible, but if there's nothing in the estate, then you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip.
They go
So,
straight for the estate, but that his advice is for the family to get the estate together so they understand, there's nothing really that's in the estate in this way that the IRS or anyone can take. So,
oh, okay.
um, so it's not like you have to have your estate set up properly, otherwise they go straight for the next person in line.
God.
Now that
All
happened
right.
to me when my kid's dad passed. He owed like
Oh God.
$40,000 in taxes. I just still
Oh God. That's awful.
almost okay.
Mm,
Yeah,
IRS is brutal.
they are. Mhm.
Okay. Next, I guess.
Okay. Um, God, these things move fast. See what you're
I
saying?
know it's so hard to keep track of.
Uh, keep in mind, if you've already gotten a question answered from Erik, it would be really helpful to let other people do it, because what
Yes.
I'm seeing is a lot of messages from one person. So you can
Yeah,
kind
I put that on my post. Only one per customer,
of, I
people.
just have to, in order to be fair to everyone, I have to move on to someone else who.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
How much more with the quakes in Puerto Rico? So he said the planet is going through something. It's really shifting. There's going to be more quakes, more volcanoes. Puerto Rico's going to get a rest. I'll just answer you straight away. They're going to get a rest
Oh, thank
very.
God.
They're going to get a rest. I know they've been through a lot, and they're going to
Yeah.
get rest. Okay. I know that you have a hard time hearing me on this. It happened for a reason that's going to be better for the way that your government was set up. So it's going to be actually better now. You're going to be
Okay.
less dependent on certain sources, and that's going to make you grow as a community. And I know this is hard and devastating to hear right now, but it's going to get better. This happened for a
Hope
reason that
so.
makes you more dependent upon each other, which means
Ah.
you grow locally,
Mhm.
grow at that level. and everything shifts. There's so much more independence and interdependence, and communities growing there. Things are shifting. And
Good. Not depending on Big Brother. I mean, just really just connect on a local level with each
connect on a
other.
local level with each other, and
It's
you
just
don't think
love. That's
we're
the way. The other
exporting.
way is fear. The
Yeah.
the way of connecting on a community level is the way of love.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have no idea how many I've done on that side.
Oh, one more probably. I don't know. Maybe do one more. I think you've done two.
Oh, this is a hard one for Chris. Will I lose my home? He said, okay, so at the rate things are going, it looks hard. And he's not going to shy away from telling you when something looks hard. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, okay.
So he's just kind of letting you know that it's not going in a good direction. Some of this is health related. Some things have happened to this person that have caused him to like he depended on somebody financially that he kind of shouldn't have, but he didn't have the discernment at the time, and things went bad. Okay, that things happen, you know, and it's hard.
Yeah.
So he's like, forgive yourself for whatever happened, that you put money into something and it went bad. Forgive yourself for that. Keep in mind that sometimes we form these attachments on things like houses or cars or people, you know, and whatever it is. And with houses, sometimes things kind of have to, these contracts have to break down, and we consider that a loss. But what if you're going to be so much happier in a place that is different? So this is for a reason. Like sometimes we think this is bad, like, you know, hurricanes come through and wipe things away, things happen. And then we get this newfound freedom and independence and a cheaper place, or things happen that makes it, and then suddenly we're happy. Suddenly we're like, oh my gosh, it's like a weight that's lifted off our shoulders, and we can't perceive that at the time because we have attachments to things. And that's a hard thing. You're not being punished. You know, it's just that it's time to get something different. It's time that you're meant to be on different land. You're meant to be in a different house. You're meant to be in a different location that's going to actually make you happier. You're going to feel relieved. And I know you can't see that right now, and I'm really sorry, man.
Yeah, like God closes the door, he opens the window. So is there one piece of practical advice you can give to Chris?
He said, this isn't even God opening a door or a window. It's like God comes in with a wrecking ball and says, boom.
Okay.
And then you have an entire forest. And then all of a sudden you have all this open air and space that you never saw before. Don't worry, you're not going to be out in the streets. This is not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. And you are going to get a different house, and you are going to be happier. So just understand that this is a complete renovation, and it's not just this that's going away. He said this is many things shifting.
Oh. So is there one thing, thing that he needs to do?
What he needs to do right now is like save money in a unique way, and he's meant to be garnering in his talents and abilities. He's meant to be helping people, and he's meant to be pulling into small business ownership and being self-employed. That thing. There's so many different things. He's meant to be writing all those sorts of things right now and focusing in his energy in these specific ways.
That's great. All right, one more, Lana Dukes. Hello, does my grandpa Alan have a message for me? Just real quick, because we want to close up with your information.
He's really proud of you for what you're doing to help women in particular have a greater voice. So he's showing me something. It was really funny because when people come, the messages are so strong that their loved ones come before I even have a podcast.
Wow.
I actually saw him along, and I didn't know who he was, but I was watching, somebody sent me a message. It was, I think maybe Charlize Theron, and an interviewer was asking her a question. This is so common in society. But I was watching, and they were like, so were you allowed to wear underwear during that movie in that particular set? And she, you know, just silly little female questions, you know? And like the co-star, the male, got all these questions about the importance of his role and all these things. And another question was like, what did you eat? What was your diet like?
Oh my gosh.
And she was like, oh my gosh, he gets the deep existential questions. And I get a question about rabbit food and my diet.
Oh God.
Questions, and you're gonna ask me about my underwear? Like she started to get really tired of it, you know, and she started trying to be polite. So Alana is going through this right now. So Alana is going through observing the divine feminine in the collective right now being squashed, and she's done with it. So your grandpa's proud of you for giving this voice rise.
Awesome. All right. Well, I guess that's it, guys. Thank you so much, Erik and Pamela. You guys check her out at PamelaErlin.com. I'll put all of her stuff in her information in the description box. That's what you call that little thing. So yeah, and you guys please click like and please subscribe and share. Help awaken the planet by sharing. Love you all. Love you, Erik. Love you, Pam.
I love you too. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye everyone.